So what's up, guys? This is Sean Dan, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today, we are fortunate and so I know him very long already.
Not that fortunate.
And I actually forgot that you're a developer, when I...
That's okay.
So when I have, hey, my friend Keith is coming for a podcast, then I'm like, Chin Chai, just put in the office. No, he's a developer today. Okay, let's be a little bit more fancy, right? Dress up a little bit. Anyway, we have my friend Keith. You want to say hi to the camera and audience?
Hi everybody, I'm Keith from Myra.
So Myra is a?
Property developer. We are owned by a parent company called OIB, Oriental Interest Berhad, but we are known as Myra. So we develop in Greater Klang Valley, Sepang, Dengkil, Puncak Alam, Kundang, those kind of areas.
Greater Klang Valley.
Yeah,
what a word.
Correct. I don't want to say Central Klang Valley, then people will be like, oh, in KL, no lah.
Yeah, eventually the joke is eventually Selangor will be Klang Valley.
Correct. No, we just do North Kiara for everything. North, South, we just use Kiara for everything, right? Like North Bukit Bintang.
So,
and go super far away.
So the cool fact is we knew each other when I was in a development office and you are not. You are
You are my client.
Yeah. Then okay, so now you can also prove and verify that we invented one of the first online customization platform for property. A lot of people just thought that, Sean just say whatever.
No. It was legit. I still think the idea is a great idea. But so the idea was, your viewers know exactly how it works. Yeah. Basically, you can customize your own home and build like Lego for your blocks, but not like IBS, actual customization. So we were one of the vendors that were kind of building it up for you guys.
Digitally.
Yeah, on the digital front. But now, having been in the developer, I realized, actually, it's very hard to do. We thought online is I can totally do all these kind of things. Then we realized cost, the development, the efficiency. We're like, no, this is not a good idea. Not right now, but I think at some point, it will be that, I still feel that that's the future.
Cool. Yeah, now you guys hear it. Yeah. Anyway, today you are representing Myra, and we are here to talk about, because what's interesting for me is your view as a leader of a developer. Development office, developer. Right? You're one of the top leaders there. And your background is not on anywhere close to construction at all, right? Nope. So conventionally, we have, my boss needs to be construction for 8 years, infrastructure experience 10 years, then come in be a manager.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Then first time grow from there, right?
Yeah. But you...
No, man. So I think one is the boss of the company is very, very liberal and open-minded. So the idea was, I think you will also agree, construction is an old industry, right? Old industry and with older people. I don't know how anyone's feelings are, right? So the idea was, if we bring in new people, surely they will want to do new things. So the idea is, what we don't want to hear in our company is this is how it was done before, which we understand. But how can it be better? And so that's why when our recruitment policy and our HR side and our talent and culture side, we look at different backgrounds because it complements what we want to do. So that's why when I came in, it was honestly quite overwhelming as well. But then, you kind of get the ropes, and I'm still very junior in development and construction, but our ideas are what we're trying to achieve, our goals are, so to speak. Yeah.
Because conventionally, people were still what project you done before? And the sad fact is, why promotions within development office or construction offices, it depends on how many projects you completed before. Then one project is going to take 3-4 years and hand over.
Correct.
Oh, now you are kind of experienced, move to next phase.
Correct.
That's very sad. That's why I left partly. Yeah. And people don't embrace change, like you said just now.
Yep, they don't. We see that quite a lot. And it's not, but honestly, it's not just limited to property development. Because last time in my previous company, we were working as a digital agency. So a lot of people were already hesitant to change then. So it wasn't limited to the construction and property industry. But for now, you're right. One project, approximately 3 to 4 years, if you want to see it through. But for us, what we take heart in is that the parent company, OIB, already has a very good track record. Since 1986, all the way. They've been developing homes and all. So we got the experience from there, and then we get to move it forward. Means that we got to see how did they do it last time? Surely they did some things right, and surely they did some things that can be improved.
Yep.
So for our side, we just focus on, all the right things we just maintain as the SOP, everything. Then we're like, can this be done better or not? What can we do in this aspect? What can we do for these kind of materials or the specs or even the location or the pricing or the package, all of these things, then we move it forward. So our hallmark is not how many projects have you launched. Maybe for our senior project managers, it will be that, to be honest, because we need the full experience. But large majority of us is that how many boxes can you tick? How many new things that you can implement that actually affects the customer, or affects the project in a positive sense? Then kind of deal. Right? You got one project, you can do like 10 new things, all 10 things work. Why not, right? That's 10x better than whatever you can do 10 projects, but all of it the same.
Why have 10 people that know how to build a column?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. We got one person know how to build column and we got consultants for that. Yeah, we just start to look at should the column be like that? We just start to think of that,
Yeah, so that's why it's very fascinating to see like you lead such a very young team.
Yeah,
just now you were sharing like average.
Yeah, the average age, we got about 180 odd people in the company, and so about 100 of us are less than 30 years old. Okay, I shouldn't say us, but 100 people are less than 30. I'm more than 30 years old, so it sounds like I'm making myself look young, but I'm not. But about 100 of us less than 30 years old.
Which is very rare.
For a property developer, yeah, it's very rare. We run almost like, if you come into the offices, we kind of look like a tech company to a certain degree. Just got a lot of plans, a lot of building plans and camps and all. But other than that, we kind of look like a tech company. We eschew formality to that degree. T-shirt, pink, super bright. The idea is youth will always find a way, right? Yeah. Sometimes we definitely make a lot of mistakes. Like there's so many times we make so many mistakes, right? And the experienced person will be like, look, you should have done that. But then for us is that then how to learn if we don't push the boundaries. So we're not perfect, but that's how we feel that we would run. We will try a lot of new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
And that's a message for everyone who is considering like, I maybe have a passion for development. Like if you're from IT, you're from finance, you're from people and culture, you're from anything lah. Actually, you can be in a development company. You can, and I will actually take a step back further. Like you were saying that if you have a passion in development, for us is if you have a passion in growth. Our business model is just a model for you to achieve what you want. See, for me, I think you know me as a property is not like I'm not hell-bent. I admire your passion in property. It's like, they're hardcore. So I'm in the property industry, but my true gain is growth. And I want to be able to see tangible results. Yeah. And what is more tangible than a house that people live in? Because if you do, like last time we used to do digital advertising and all, right? Yeah. So essentially we're marketing products, which is fun, but at the end of the day, how many people buy the product or not, you don't feel a connection. Yeah, there's no satisfaction.
Correct. Less satisfaction.
The satisfaction mostly is on the money.
IPR, less satisfaction. But when we do these homes, right, it's unique in the sense that these are people are going to live in them. You can actually see the results of your decisions that you made 3-4 years ago, and then you look at the impact now. And then you can assess like, oh man, that was a bad call. Or you know what, that's a great call. We will moving forward, all projects, we should do this,
Then how was it like transforming from such a fast-paced industry, right, into a very, very slow pace? Like the decision-making process, right?
Yeah.
You change one thing, you can see the result 3 years later.
Correct. So data helps guide almost all of our decisions. We're getting stronger and stronger as we go along. I would actually say it's still fast-paced. The slow part is the approvals and getting the product out, right? But the fast pace is in the decision making and the times that we can change right up to the point of submission. And because of our company, we don't just focus on one project. So at any given time, we're working on about 6 to 10 projects at any given time. So we do 6 to 10 with about 150 plus people. It's actually quite fast.
Yeah.
Because once that 2 years and all construction and all starting already almost halfway through, you already got a new project launching. So it's that cycle of about 6 to 10 projects, and we're looking to go up more as well. That actually keeps us pretty busy.
Yeah.
The process is slow, but large count equals to fast pace.
But then the more important thing is that platform to interchain all of the knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, correct. So when I first joined the company, the first thing everyone was using WhatsApp, right? Because WhatsApp comms and all, right? Yeah. Then for us we realized that that's not the ideal way, because everyone using your personal phone. So anytime you open your phone, you got like family messages or whatever, then it's very, very easy to get distracted. Can't really blame someone as well, you know. If you're human, you're looking at that. So
Speaking about this, like, it just happened to like one of my teams. Eventually, every WhatsApp group becomes a birthday group.
Correct? It's a surprise birthday or something, is it?
No, everything is like, when you have 150 people, right, the odds of having a birthday every day.
That's true. Everyone's just wishing happy birthday.
Every day is just somebody's birthday. Then you look into the chat, right? 85% is like all happy birthday. And then the remaining 5% is like tagging the wrong person.
Normal, and then some sort of videos, and then just a lot of party hats with happy birthday message, right? So ours was similar. So the idea was, how can we centralize information? So that's why we invested heavily, really, really heavily into systems and CRMs and even communication systems. So we use Slack. I don't know if you're familiar with Slack. Yeah, so we use Slack. We use Salesforce for our sales side.
Fancy.
We try lah. No, because we are hell-bent on data.
Yeah.
Data is absolutely crucial. So anything that can give us more data, usually it will make us like perk up lah.
Yeah.
Whether or not, and then cost and all aside lah, right? So we tend to look towards these things. And so the idea is just, once we've invested in this, is to get out the best we can. We still haven't extracted as much value as we can, to be honest. But we are trying to lah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, then for conventional setups, all the knowledge boils down to the person.
Correct. It does. For let's say if you're in a older or different developer, right? Or don't know, ask Mr. Lim, for example. Ask Mr. Lim. Mr. Lim know everything.
Then
right?
Mr. Lim chow already.
Then
suddenly like,
answer.
Why who didn't make the decision? And so that was the painful part that I went through. And most of the time, before handover, a lot of the core teams of a project were just...
Correct. They would have left already, taking all the information and decision making along, right?
Yeah.
So that's why our systems and all that we are implementing, and we'll be implementing more new ones as well, we'll be able to see the decision making process to a certain degree. And because of our comms is primarily in Slack, so we can actually go back to history. So I can actually look at, 2018, right? Who actually approved this? Because all communications must be in Slack for everything formal. So then we can go back like, hey Sean, you are the one that approved this. And then usually we always try to, when you approve, you always tell your reasons why, or even if you reject. So for me, for example, if someone were to propose something and I think it's not a good idea, I would say, no, I don't agree, but here's why I don't agree. So that in the event 2 years later, they'll be like, keep don't agree. Then I might even forget. Like, hey, actually why I disagree? It sounds like a good idea. Then you look back and you go like, yeah. So that's one way to maybe kind of keep information. Even if I leave, someone can actually see there. That's the idea.
So for listeners, right, a lot of reason, or no, I think a lot of people ask me like, what's my criteria of buying a home? And what's the difference between buying from a public listed company versus a pocket land development? The main difference is the knowledge and experience. So like, if this developer at one moment of time will have 20, 30 projects, right? So for example, like Sam Darby has one of the perfect templates for landed already.
Yeah.
They did it for 50 years already.
Correct.
Like how you shake the person up, draw a terrace house, he'll just draw for you, right?
Correct.
And all possible questions, issues with the terrace house, this waterproofing doesn't work.
Correct.
That tiles doesn't work. Yeah, so they just repackage it again and again using landscape, using some architectural treatments, but in the core it's the same.
Correct.
And then the supporting elements, which is like if I complain, they actually respond. So when I look at your team right now, I guess it's going on a very good foundation.
We hope so. We are also a listed company, right? So we don't have the portfolio of Sam Darby in that sense, right?
Of course, they are one of
correct. Yeah, they're like try and test it. But what we do have is we like to think brains, logic, and then we can also just look at how they're doing it. And once again, we question ourselves. So most of the time, we just question ourselves. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people see developers or each developer see as competition and all. For us, we just see it as a learning point. Like, okay, because at the end of the day, location cannot change. So if you want to buy this location, if you're the only option, then it's us. But then the idea is that we can look at our competitors and see like, that's a good idea. Like, that's a good way to do it. Or hey, this kind of waterproofing, they use bitumen, for example, as opposed to this kind of thing. So we're like, that's a good idea. So we monitor that and then we try to change.
That's my greatest fun when I do what I do.
Looking at everybody else. And
like for this project, this works, this doesn't work.
Correct.
Then I go to another developer, this works, this doesn't work.
Correct.
So Like sometimes some lessons, right, takes years to finally like,
does.
hey, there's this new product that just come out.
Correct.
We can apply this, then everything's sorted out.
Correct.
But me as a visitor, I just come, oh, I take and gel.
Correct. That's the perfect example. Yes. As a developer, that's what we want. We wish we could take and chow and then implement next day. Unfortunately, a bit hard for that.
Yeah. So the ultimate disadvantage or the properties of a property is location.
Correct.
So that's why a lot of people will say like, hey, copycat, right? You can never copy a product
Location.
exactly on
Correct.
a location.
Correct. Totally agree. Even with side by side, man. Look at the entrance areas, look at the traffic, look at the views and all these kind of things. It changes one. You know, at the end of the day, so we always tell our customers, look, you're buying the product. So you must be happy with the product. And this was something that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Most people tend to sell the packages, whatever rebates or whatever, right? So for us, we always focus on you're buying the product, you got to be happy with the product. The package helps you finance your product.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, is this. And just because we are side by side, you want to compare us with our competitors, no problem. Because we know like certain parts, if you want this kind of look and feel style, this kind of value propositions, we are the best fit. But if you want a different value proposition, you want a different kind of a focus, they're better in that sense, you know. Because I don't think you can get one. I don't know, like maybe you can tell us, is there one property that every single checkbox?
The price wouldn't be.
Correct lah. The price correct. If you want all the thing, then
Everything
you get a baller price.
the price wouldn't be.
Correct. So I think that most people know to compromise, and at the end of the day, unless you have unlimited budget, everybody has to make some sort of compromise.
Exactly. And why I'm very excited to have Keith here today, right? It's because for very long in the industry, like every year I throw letter when I was back in the old company because I'm just so frustrated with all the processes being so slow, right? So like, why do I need 3 months to learn, or why do I need 1 year to learn things that I can learn in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Just because the process takes so long for implementation. And this is also to encourage like more people that are passionate with industry again. I want to see a lot of change. Like a lot of companies now, like they kind of switch up a little bit on their marketing and their product innovation, right? I'm damn excited one.
Correct.
So like when you want to come and share, this is going to be, like a lot of developers are going to look at this segment thinking like, hey, they want to, but they can't because they are tight. Most of the developers in Malaysia comes from family business.
Correct.
And mostly from construction.
Correct.
It's an evolution or upstream.
Correct. Then do developer and all. Yep. Correct.
So it's going to be a very different conversation, but I think it's going to be an interesting one. Like the definition of home now becomes so different.
Correct.
And our conversation was very interesting as well. Because I'm so into investment, my circle of friends have at least 5.
Correct.
Then suddenly that one statement that you shared is your customers eventually will be buying only one.
Most likely.
Because of the budget range and the location, right?
Correct.
Not like city boys. So they will only buy one in their entire lifetime. So we gotta really make it count.
Correct. So that's really our philosophy. Now it's not to say that they won't buy more.
Yeah.
But that's how we approach it, We look at where they are in their current stage of life. You know, a lot of our customers aren't buying it like 22, 23, let's buy first property, invest one, you know. This is like 30 years old, they've been renting or staying at their parents, and then they've got a kid on the way or a kid, and then they'll be like, look, I need a place to settle down, and I want a landed or I want a comfortable place, you know. I don't mind traveling a little bit further, and this is going to be the home for the next at least 10 to 20 years. So we take that responsibility heavily,
Yep.
You know. Sometimes, of course, we all make mistakes, right? But that's always at the forefront of our mind, meaning that that's why we kept talking about the value and the house itself, because we want to make sure that, okay, this house, based on the price you pay, location, everything, is it good value or not? So we always talk about, especially in the marketing team and all, a lot of people want to be Mercedes and BMW, right? We want to be the Myra, the X50, you know, it's good, very, very decent price for what you get. If you want a BMW or Rolls Royce, we are not able to cater to that.
Yeah.
We're not that kind of market. But if you need a first home, no need to go much further. For our side, all the value propositions for the first home, we take care of. So even like our sales galleries, we do our consultants, we call them consultants, because their job is actually to consult you on what kind of house you want, especially a first home, right? We do free sit-house checks. So guys, if you want free CTOS checks, just come to our sales gallery, free of charge. Yeah. So we'll help consult.
Usually it's like $25.
Yeah, correct.
So you can go there.
15 to 25, depending. I think it's 15 actually.
Some got the promo code.
Yeah, okay.
CTOS, if you want to sponsor anything.
Yeah. CTOS, shout out CTOS. So you can just come out to our sales gallery and we will consult you on buying your first home, preferably from us. But even if it's not from us and you still buy, right, we consider our job successful. You know? Because for the sales side, it's like, correct, I consult him or her to buy their first home.
Yeah.
So those kind of, essentially it's the mindset thing. That's how we we're trying our best to implement that.
Cool. So, talk to us more about the culture of people that you are trying to lead right now.
Sure.
Because conventionally, again, quite cruel in a development company. So in developers in Malaysia, two types only I see. One is dominated heavily in branding and marketing.
Correct.
The others is heavily on technical.
Correct.
So if you're super good with your technicality knowledge or whatsoever, right, you can be the head.
Yeah.
The others is your branding and marketing ability is so good, your connection is so good, you can be the head. Anything in between?
For us, yes. Great decision making. So at the end of the day, we were when we look at the candidates that we received in the past, those that thrive with us and those that maybe seek greener pastures elsewhere, right? The key thing that points out to us is the ability to make decisions and want to make decisions. So a lot of people,
that's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with it. Some people, they want to work for a company. They just want the 9 to 5 and then just work, and then at 5 o'clock, 5:30, child, once in a while, they don't mind OT. There's nothing wrong with that. The boss tell me what to do, I'll do it. But then you get a different type of people that goes, all right, I'll do 9 to 5, but I want to have a say. I want to voice out my concerns and I don't mind working later or whatever, but I want to show my decision-making process, and I want to take lead. Those are the people that thrive with us. And that's kind of how I see myself also. Now, do you make all the right decisions? No, hell no. You make damn a lot of wrong decisions. But the fact that you want that, you want that bite.
You want to be in the spot of accountability.
Correct. So Myra, for us, we offer that. So that's the core difference. So it's not, you can have the most technical person in the world, but they don't stand up or they don't speak up, which means as a business, right, it's damn annoying. Sean, what should we do?
Check with him first.
I check with him first. Then this guy just doesn't say anything, you ask me the right question, I'll tell you the right answer. Otherwise, I don't care, even though I have all the information in the world, correct? And then, so if you have characters like that, they're useful, but they're not going to be a good leader. You want to work under that person, man. Right? So you want someone that can kind of see the full picture and then make the right calls at the right time, knowing that sometimes it's going to be a wrong call, right? And then just recover and then analyze why that was and then grow. So yeah, man. And then for the branding and marketing side, I consider myself a marketer first and foremost, right? So it's...
Well, your marketing team is going to be so stressed working under you.
No, they're quite chill, right? They're quite chill. They speak off the camera, they're quite chill. Man, when we talk about marketing, right, the interesting thing that actually drew me to this company was the product itself. So like I said, I've always looking for growth. So my whole thing was I just want to grow, preferably in any industry. I find myself I can fit into any industry. But why I chose property was when I look as a marketer from a marketer's lens, it is the weirdest way to market a product. So you think about this, right? You as a customer, you pinky promise with a developer, right? Hey, I'm going to give you all the money I have in the world. I don't have the money now. I'm going to take a loan and give you the money. Okay? I need you to sign. We're going to sign this piece of paper that promises I will get this house in about 3 to 4 years' time. I cannot see the house. I cannot touch the house. Can't feel the house. But I'm going to give you more money than I ever had in my life for the next 30 years. I'm going to pay off this thing. And everybody just goes, yeah, okay. And I always thought that that's such a strange way to market, and that would be a difficult challenge for myself. So that's kind of why for me personally, I joined this particular developer because we have this kind of things that we can try to change it. Now, of course, we can't do, build first and sell later, right? But the idea is understanding where the customers are coming from. If you buy any car, you buy a Rolls Royce also, you can go and touch, feel, drive, test drive, right? You cannot test drive house, It's later only, you take the key, then you realize, whether it's a good buy or bad buy, right? So as a marketer, I thought that's super interesting. So that's why I was thinking that it's not about passionate about property specifically. If you're passionate in like making great decisions, you want a voice, you want growth, and you find yourself being an accountable person, then Myra welcomes everybody. You don't need that specific skill set, unless of course it's like very specific, like we're looking for CNS engineer then we need
Well, so okay, this sounds a lot of like a recruitment campaign already. But I think what's that is his motive lah anyway. But the thing is it depends. So like when I am in the development era, so when I see colleagues from different companies, you can feel where they are from.
Like what do you mean?
So like in my old company, we celebrate knowledge of technicality.
So like the more shit you know, then it's like
so when I go into a development, I know, okay, this is a 2-inch Eugenia, this is a gardenia plant, this is a whatever, so this is the column, this is the flat slab, this is whatever. I can name everything.
Okay.
And it's like a culture thing.
Right.
Because when during site walks, if I were to point something and you cannot tell me what it is, you got no face.
Okay. But what role or every role? Like,
almost.
Like even you ask marketing what's transfer slab, also they better be able to tell you.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then like if you ask marketing like what transfer slab, so how do you turn transfer slab into an advantage to market to your company, to your customers and things like that.
Okay.
So that's very fascinating. But when I go to other developers, they talk a lot about ideas, like something like yours. But okay, how do we market a link semi-D? How do I do garden home? What is a garden home? Then how do we redo the old concept of townhouse turn it into single story and things like that?
Correct.
So it's very obvious when you see like after 5 to 10 years, right? Totally.
Yeah.
And me, because so long already, that's why I can see the difference.
Right.
And some are just really good in governance.
Correct. Just getting shit out.
Yeah. They can see, okay, I get this through, I get this through, then
correct. Correct. Speed is their forte.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good trait, by the way. A lot of people don't understand the idea of speed, right? Is for a developer, is absolutely crucial. To move faster. Yeah.
So like there was a quote like 80% of skill sets, regardless of whatever you do, is people skills.
Yep.
And in development, I think it's a very heavy people skill.
Yeah, it is.
Industry, right?
It is.
Anyway, like talking about your projects, right? Any new projects coming up? For you.
We have quite a few coming up, but the most recent one would be something called Alia, ALEA, Alia Residence. That's in Puncak Alam. So actually, it's kind of, I think you're right. I mean, reflecting on what you said, I think it will be under the more idea-driven one. Because that was for Alia Residence, the idea is about a 5.9 acre piece of land. And we're thinking of doing townhouses originally. Then we thought like, okay, people want landed. So unfortunately land is expensive, right? So the cost doesn't make sense. So we're thinking of, okay, what are the hallmarks of a landed? So we thought first thing is you must be able to go to your car. I assume people want to go to the car, right? And then some people want to do gardening. And then most people just like the idea of it being on ground, right?
Yeah.
So we took certain elements of these particular traits, and that's why we built Alia Residence. So if you actually see the product, right, it's actually a 7-story, we call it low courtyard apartment, right? So where all the car parks are on the same floor. Meaning that you actually walk to your car on the same floor.
Oh, so your residential tower and a car park is actually attached.
Correct. And then we assign the car parks all on the same floor. So it's essentially a landed as much as you can. Because when we reflect, we say townhouse, not to talk shit about townhouse, but upstairs doesn't really give you that feel already because you kind of need to walk upstairs, right? So let's say if you got someone maybe we
need assistance.
Yeah, harder to move or mobility issues, it becomes a bit trickier, right?
So they visit less.
Correct. yeah, that's true. Actually, it's a good idea. Yeah. But it's okay.
That's not the main reason why I buy. Okay, but anyway.
And then the parking is tandem usually for townhouses, right? So ours is all side by side. So we thought we can fix that particular element and then give all the good things about a condo, which is your swimming pool, your gyms, or your standard facilities. So Alia Residence was kind of a way that it came from an idea of, okay, can we take certain elements and we know what we're sacrificing. If you want to do gardening, we have a balcony, but we can't. If you want a corner unit landed, then we're not your market. But if you're thinking that you just want landed because you want access to your car, easy, these kind of things, but you also kind of want all the facilities and all right, then this is the right product. So that's why we've always been very clear of, okay, who would want our product? And if this kind of customer comes and I want a semi-D, Like cannot lah. Like if you're not
Correct.
yeah, I mean, no point we do. We'll consult you on how to buy SMED, and then you can go.
Yeah.
So
And this kind of conversation is I really enjoy
oh
because unfortunately not many people can really describe a product based on the design intent. If you were to look into a lot of different developers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a condo.
yeah, correct.
Yeah? Oh, this one is 900 square feet. Lor.
Correct.
It's the same like the others.
Correct.
So and what? So
Yeah.
when that's why when I speak to a lot of marketing managers or whatsoever, like product managers, this is the flair that I like, and that's why I'm like secretly trying to promote smaller boutique developers. Because I personally find it very fascinating.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
The founder, right? That day I was speaking to the son of the founder. I didn't know he was just like another friend,
Okay.
Right? Oh, the main reason why we put down the latch another 500 is when you put a compressor in, then we lift up the window. So when you look out from the window, you don't feel the aircon compressors down there. And just nice in the facade treatments, right? It looks like you can camouflage a little bit.
Yeah. It's a good train of thought, man.
You are the second man of the company. Right? So if you think about the bigger companies, they design buildings by Excel.
Correct.
Project A, B, C, D, E, profit margin, how much efficiency, how much Y.
Correct.
Then you try to notice a pattern, right?
Correct.
Who got time for refuse chamber?
Correct.
Who got time
Correct.
for location of this kind of thing, right? So I do understand, but that's how the game is played. So how I wish when I was younger, I know what I want as a young executive. Do I want more design sense? Do I want more governance, leadership skills, or do I want more technicalities and things like that?
Right.
So like back then, we are required to go sidewalks very frequently.
Okay.
That's why like I should really buy boots. I wear jeans to office.
Correct.
Because I need to go site.
Yeah.
I wear a suit and tie.
Correct.
Then I go to site.
Correct.
But then you can see some other companies is suit and tie all the way. Because they meet with shareholders all the time. So their war zone is boardrooms.
Right.
My war zone is at site.
Ours, I mean, I get where you're coming from. So I said because I don't have much experience in other developers, but this is the first developer side.
It makes you like a unicorn.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
all my friends, you are the
Only one, the only one in developer with one like X amount. But now I got 5 years experience, so I've seen through like 4 projects already.
Oh, okay.
So got some, got some stripes on the batch. Actually, what you say is true, man. But for us, we've always been some sort of a hybrid. We always saw ourselves as a hybrid. So like the Excel sheet we do that.
Yeah.
But then the different factor is that so we'll do that together, the management, and then we'll go, okay, this is the price or cost, right? Then for the rest, right, for all marketing, do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do as long as this, right? Just think of the best way to do it.
So the key word here is together.
Correct. Yeah, we do it together. So it's not like
Because most of the time it's done.
or means one number come down, okay, Sean must do like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like as an executive, right? Oh, this project we have 18% margin. What does it mean?
Yeah, they don't understand. They can't even see that,
Yeah.
So we do it together, and then so once all of us is actually we're quite transparent now. So everything will be visible there. And then now the idea is okay, we're gonna spend, let's say tiles are right, like $5 on a tile, whatever, right? So the idea is okay, $5 is the thing. What can we generate more out of this? Can we give customer a 5 ringgit 20-cent experience paying $5 or $5.50? So that's how we kind of push the boundaries, using specs as an example. But it's actually mainly about design. The aircon thing is pretty interesting, man. That's pretty cool. We have something similar, not to flex, but for our Cyber Drive project. So our aircon is actually towards the yard area, but it's actually angled right where you will actually dry your clothes. Because the logic was, when the architect was like, okay, we turn it on, right, the hot air is going to help you dry your clothes. So you don't need to put dry. I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that idea was used also in...
Oh, we're not the first. Oh, man.
Yeah, none of us. So, and that's my point, like how I wish there's a platform, right, to share best practices.
That would be great. That would be so fun. Like, it'll make my job so much easier too. I could just totally look and be like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, how I wish property awards were done that way also. Like, what are the innovations? Like, now innovations are given to properties that are yet to be built.
Correct.
I seriously don't know how they evaluate, first of all.
Paper, bro.
Paper, then you see, how great the rendering is.
Yeah. Correct.
So
That's
are
true.
we evaluating how this guy used V-Ray to render the thing? How realistic the diagram is?
Correct.
Or the actual space itself? But the unfortunate truth is, again, like since we are in the flexing mode right now, no one visits as many property as I.
Yeah, I agree that, man. As much as I think I should visit more,
Yeah.
I think you're the king of that lah.
So like how many facilities that have you went? How many swimming pool have you touched?
Correct.
So that gives all the experience, right? Okay, the using a small mosaic, just changing the grey tone a little bit, right? Gives a very luxury feel.
Yep.
But then some like the more palette, like blue.
Yeah. It is I think the trend now is those kind of colors, right? Those kind of like pastel, kind of pastel colors, right?
So like I see it live because I see new projects, old projects, right? I think it's so fun like to be in the university right now. Okay, I want to try out development, right? There's so many choices. Back then, there's like a few only.
Oh, like back then, what was it like? Sorry,
Maybe like 4 companies only.
Okay, that's it. You get one of the 4, like big 4 like that, lah.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
So like big 4, then if you come out from A, it's very hard to get into B
Oh, really?
because of the work arrangement.
What do you mean
so
by that?
if you are
Sorry.
like from A,
Yeah.
it's easier to get to C
Okay.
because the boss from C was from A.
Okay.
So they know how.
They operate and then they can simulate with the culture, lah.
So like once a lot of people come out from A, then they will go to C, then they will go to D.
That's just very linear, lah, in a way, lah. Is it?
So you see the same people around the industry one.
Right.
Which is a benefit for me indirectly. Like in my phone call, people want to see this project, or let me make some calls.
That's true. It's only four different developers. Dude, now got way too many. In a good way, also like it gives customers options.
But it's also dangerous where like now track records becomes really important,
Yes, we 100% agree.
right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people really like underestimate development. They thought that developer just make money only.
Yeah, it's
Like the amount of brainstorm, the amount of decision making you
Correct.
need to do, right?
Correct.
For a project to be up.
correct.
That's
And
why-
you have to get a lot of it right. That's the scary thing, you know. Like you get 50% wrong, do the whole project cannot jalan. You got to get like 99% of it correct, and like 1% maybe like, oh yeah, this one we can do better.
Yeah.
And that's customers, they will understand also, but they'll be like, oh, you failed as a developer. But actually, it's just the 99% was correct, the 1%, But everyone's human, but we also understand,
That's why the amount of change within the industry is so little. Everybody plays safe.
Correct. Everyone plays safe. To be honest, that's true.
Because people is putting their life saving on you.
Correct. You really don't want to screw it up. Correct.
Yeah. So that's why we also have like a lot of examples where pocket land development stop halfway after MCO, right?
Wow, that's damn risky.
So the uncertainties suddenly when they kick in, like the cost of material just rocket, then the MCO cannot work.
Yeah.
How do you extend time?
Yeah.
All these are new things.
Correct.
So it just shocked the system. So it really shows that those people who know what they are doing,
Correct.
just persevere.
The stronger ones, the financially stronger ones and the ones that could have planned for all this, they stood the test of time.
Yeah.
We like to think we fall in the category as well. But certain pocket developments, they steady, man. They can still jalan. Not all, but some I feel that, wow, this is pretty good. Because at the end of the day, everybody starts as a pocket development.
Yeah.
Like at some point, maybe 20, 30 years ago, everyone starts one, then you kind of grow. So I think it's just really just for the customer side, assessing your risk versus reward ratio, right?
Yes,
Because usually it's cheaper, pocket development, right? So you just assess how much you want to gamble. lah.
So like for people who profits from property investment, a lot is from pocket developers.
Correct.
Because you pay less for branding, you pay less for governance, you pay less for a lot of things.
Correct.
But the project that we went yesterday, the developer wind up.
Huh? Yesterday, ni. Where? Can we say it on? Like, can I say?
It's next to Gasket Alley lah.
Oh,
Jaya
okay.
one.
Okay.
So we went there. So I'm thinking like, hey, this is one of the most frugal facilities that.
Okay.
Seriously, very frugal.
Okay.
But is it good or bad? Like as an investor, I think it's okay.
Yeah. Maintenance fee low.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna swim here.
Correct.
Nobody's gonna be trying to pick themselves in fitness there.
Correct.
But then when people putting in without knowing that it's a product like that, because you don't get to access common areas before you buy.
Yeah. That's true.
Then why my corridor like that one?
Correct.
Is this a corridor or is this a jogging path? It looks the same. It's just a different label only. So what determines the room of the function of the rooms, right, is the label on the door.
Oh, they just put like.
Function room, they open same one. Then this one is a kitchen, open same one.
Correct.
Games room, open same one.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said about for a lot of developers, or let's just cram as many facilities as possible because it's what people want to see, right? Because you want the illusion of choice or like a lot. So unfortunately, it's plaguing a lot of things because it's actually space provision.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's also certain kind of mandates from approval side that
Yep.
you need to provide
Yeah.
X amount of things, right? But actually, we all know that you don't need one. Like nobody's going to use it. So the idea is how can we tie the right balance?
Yeah.
So for us, that's why we because like I said, we are cognizant that it's our customer's first home, most likely a high chance. So we kind of cater everything towards that. So even like the earlier I was talking about the facilities, we give swimming pool and futsal court. Why? We know that this would be the two most used items. You know, we didn't give all the other stuff like I don't know, some people got a pebble deck or something, like yoga deck, you know. So we do have a yoga deck.
Actually, yoga deck is a very cost-saving method.
It's cost-saving, but also people use it, but not specifically for yoga, but people can do picnics and stuff. So that's what we see.
Take picture.
Correct, take picture, Instagram. But then a lot of people use the yoga decks as a secondary party place. So it's just kind of like, you know, the other day we were walking.
Because it looks good, man.
It looks good. And then the other day we were there, one of our other apartments, our condos, and then people using it to like play musical chairs. And we thought that was very sweet. You know, you play outside and also we never thought, oh, that's a good idea. But for us, we were thinking, should we call it musical chair deck? That'd be very weird, you know. But the idea is Grusi deck. The idea is that sometimes less is more. It's really how many people use it, and then, you know, because at the end of the day, the customers are the one paying for it in the sense of maintenance fee. So you really don't want too much wastage. You know, I've stayed in a place last time.
But from a developer standpoint, sometimes the build up is there already.
Correct.
Just because the bottom is a service area, I need to cover it with a roof, right? That's already.
Let's just put stuff in now.
I have a slab.
Correct.
But if I were to put grass, it's gonna
expensive.
Become maintenance. Right? Other people put grass very expensive. Yes, right. The maintenance of grass.
Correct.
Then put fake grass also got maintenance. Put timber deck wow, like expensive.
Yeah, correct. Defect side, water.
Then tada. So like okay, we just put epoxy paint or don't want epoxy paint.
Correct. Just cement render.
Cement render. Then like whatever you want to do with it.
Usually, like, look, we've been guilty of that as well, and it's for those particular reasons as well. It's because of the particular design. So moving forward, for our side, what we're trying to do is to actually utilize those kind of spaces because it actually does create a more efficient layout, right? The cost part of it makes sense. That's the honest truth. The cost part of it, but the weird part is that then you got empty rooms, right? So the idea for us, we're actually thinking of this one. I won't say which project yet, but what we're thinking of is certain areas we'll try to do like mirrors and fun zones. So it's just a nice path to walk. You know, because if we know the exact same reasons, we put grass, it's that expensive to maintain. Then you got your tap, you got find your tap and all this kind of stuff, right? Then you do EPDM and all maintenance is also very expensive, and the cost of that is very expensive as well. So the idea is, can we utilize these kind of areas for something fun that everyone can use it at any given time and not just leave it bare? So that's kind of where we're thinking of now, and that's what we're kind of ideating on. We don't have a full blown plan because we've got multiple projects coming up, but we'll try to impose some of these elements in. But we'll see how it goes.
Those are pretty common in high rises.
Yep.
The transition space between the car park and the residential tower.
Correct.
So we've seen like the one that blew me away one was the one in Penang, Batu Kawan one, where the swimming pool, the swimming pool deck alone took me 2 hours to finish.
Huh? How big is the deck though?
It's really big. Right? I forgot what's the name. So I really cannot remember. But it's like then because of the column design, an 8-meter column to the column distance, it becomes a room.
Okay.
Then like okay, this is a library. How do we make the coolest library? Then they have a separate ID designer team.
Oh wow.
Then okay, how do we have we want to have a music room along to a karaoke room. They get a separate team to just do it. Whoa.
But will people utilize at that time? Is it CCC or just
CCC?
Okay.
So the thing is, the emphasis on facilities differs from Penangite to KL person.
What do the Penangites kind of?
They are crazy about facilities, right?
So they actually use it, lah.
Yes.
Nice. Actually, as a developer, right, we put all in, right. If people use it, you actually feel happy, you know. You're like, yeah, man, everyone's using it.
Then if like for KL person, right, you will sing karaoke at home and no ma.
No, you just buy like any.
So like, then you got the very nice hall next to the pool. Well, the restaurant downstairs only. Right,
that's true.
We don't want like any nice cafe. We want a cool cafe. So the name of the cafe, we are having the dinner here. Oh wow, fancy. It brings certain things.
Correct.
So so it's very cool when I go Kuching, I go Johor, I go Penang. The appetite for anything less than 3 bedrooms, they don't want. So like 2 bedroom, but it's still 1,200 square feet. Yeah, liao wui.
Correct. Like,
Waste space.
correct. The China man was like, I put more rooms lah. I can fit more people in. Yeah.
Then, but for us, like we want less partitions, we want open and
Correct. But having said that, dude, for our customers, they actually want more rooms. Because I said because the
It's a need.
families, it's a need. They need it.
Yeah.
So, but the idea, that's why we always wanted to make sure that, some developments are nowadays they call a room, but really it's really small. Yeah. So we try to make sure that everything can fit queen size. So that's our minimum requirement.
Yes.
Our internal requirement can fit queen size and wardrobe. Then we consider that okay lah.
I think you just gave me an idea. I should come up with the top 10 design practice that I've after going across 250 projects, right?
Correct. You share that with me first so we can implement. Then only you tell your viewers.
I will invoice you separately. But anyway, is there any we haven't talked about your first property.
My first property.
So like as a developer, right? Suddenly
So my first property I actually bought within 1 year of joining this company, right? So that was about 6 years ago. Sorry, what do normally people talk about? How their procedure and how they buy?
What was the thought process like? Is it for a home?
Okay. Yeah, the thought process at the time I was getting married.
Condo.
Yeah, I was engaged and getting married, and then the social pressures of like, hey, why no house one? Need to buy house one. And then I was like, okay lah, we go and buy one. So that was the really quick decision making, and then the idea was that because as I was starting my career in property development as well, at the same time buying a property to own stay, it was very, very different in that way, So I was looking at it from it was really like a split mind. Half of it was, how do I maximize profits for the company? How do we introduce new ideas and new items there? And then for my own personal sales, how do I save as much money as possible? What's the cheapest thing I can do, but have a really, really nice place to live? So I didn't follow your rule of 20 survey once. I didn't know about that at the time. I surveyed maybe about 10 different projects. And the idea was that to find an equal distance. So to be fair, I discussed with my wife also. Okay, what's equal distance between both our parents?
Yes.
So that was rule number one. Number two, I set a hard budget. Meaning that I did my calculations and all, because I was working developer already, I could ask myself, hey, can you help me calculate like how much, what's a good affordability and all of that. So I calculated that it needs to be this amount, not $1 more. Even though I love the place, I was very, very hard on my budget. Okay. And then third was, okay, because of budgetary constraints as well, I bought a smaller place. So if I do upgrade, because I knew that the project was going to be 4 years for completion. If I do upgrade during that period of time, can this be rented out at cost or even lose money a bit is okay. So I was very wary of those kind of considerations. So I found this project that kind of matches all the criteria.
Which location?
It's at Ara Damansara. Yeah, because my folks are in BU, then my wife is in Tropicana side. So like, okay lah, half lah, So that particular area, and then it was quite high dense. But what attracted me was honestly the room size was nice. It wasn't like too small. It's a two bedder, and then the price was very, very good, and it was pre-launch price as well. So all those factors in, I was thinking that, and then it followed my hard budget. In fact, I had a little bit more budget to spare, so it's cheaper than what I thought it was going to be, right? So we decided to go for that, But now I didn't get the key yet.
Cool.
Yeah,
I think it's nice.
I haven't got the key yet. Apparently, it's next month only. But since then, I bought a second house. So the secondary house was different. At this point, my wife and I, we wanted more space, and the one that we bought was about 818 square feet, the original one. So this one we moved to a much bigger space, right? And this one was a MCO buy, because MCO, some developers,
Throw price.
They found it hard the difficult times and so I found one really, really good one nearby as well, and so that's the one that we're living in now.
So a few things that you share, right? Throughout your experience. New locations usually is in between two matured locations.
Correct.
Because the school of thought is just like okay, why I think Bukit Jalil is going to be a next big thing, right? Because it's in between three main locations that is very, very sophisticated.
Yeah.
That's why I throw price there. That's why I throw my money there. So if that's your guidance to also kind of identify new, don't suddenly, I don't want to name a place, but it's like maybe a very far away place, right?
Yeah.
It won't work. Although you have a landed, right, it wouldn't work.
Well, actually, it depends, dude. when you say work, what kind of context do you mean working? Like investment wise or own stay?
Even like own stay wise also, like a lot of people, okay, not to trash Seremban. Seremban is a whole different town now. But a lot of people are still traveling from Seremban to KL every day.
That's true. But perhaps it's because they can't find for that budget and that kind of space that they want.
I spoke to a
They
few.
want
So
to-
me being as curious as hell, right? I spoke to a few. Then their rationale is, if I were to stay in KL, husband and wife need to work. Both kids need to be in daycare. And I'm still as equally poor.
Right. By the time you sink all those costs in,
Yeah. Then like I'm using the house only to sleep.
right.
Weekends I'm not at home also because
Okay.
there's a mall. I go to malls.
Okay.
What's the point of having a swimming pool that I cannot even see with daylight?
True.
So that's the life that. So now by sacrificing the traveling time of the husband, with the same budget, I can actually afford a landed place. Then the wife can opt not to work and
Right.
take care of the two.
Right. Better quality of life for everybody except for the dude, for the husband in this case.
So that's the exact word, the quality of life, which equals to time available.
Correct.
So that's the new term that I think is called effective wealth.
Oh, that's new. I never heard that.
Yeah, so wealth is
Effective.
like as much
Yeah,
money, right?
correct.
But now effective wealth is buying power along with the time that you have.
That makes sense.
So
That
like,
makes sense.
like by moving away, right? The dude needs to travel a bit more.
Yep.
But with a good car, no one's complaining.
Correct.
But then now the wife gets to wake up a little bit later at 8,
Correct.
send the kids to school.
Correct. Have her own time.
Pick them up. So now gardening suddenly becomes a good hobby.
Yeah,
You
correct.
tell a KL person, hey, you want to do gardening? I can't even name the plant,
Yeah, correct.
right?
It's true.
So that's the main reason like why people move elsewhere. So like, but it's in an older community or whatever lah, or address lah. Doesn't mean it's like ulu. But then now a lot of developers try to go ulu
For the sake.
throw very cheap price for a landed.
Okay.
Those will not work because there's no proximity. So the
Okay,
worst part
fair.
about a new development is you have all the new townships, whatever, right? You need to drive at least 20 minutes to the nearest chicken rice.
True. So we have instead of a Big Mac calculator, the McDonald's one, you use chicken rice.
I
like
use chicken
Malaysia.
rice and kopi peng
Okay.
because the very...
Use nasi lemak lah, bro.
I like chicken rice, man. I cannot afford to eat too many nasi lemak. Chicken rice is all protein. But
Okay.
but to me, the index thing is also real. Like the kopi peng
Yeah.
index, right? Kopi peng and chicken rice index for Puchong, right? And Bukit Jalil, although it's one street away only, one is 140 before MCO, 140 and 180.
Oh.
It's 40 cents more for the same cup. It's not like more gao also lah.
Yeah.
And people don't care. Then you can see the language usage.
Yep.
Here people still use a lot of Cantonese, a lot
Correct.
of dialects. In Bukit Jalil, a lot of people use English. So it's like these are the things that when I just sit around, right? Me being again the curious person, then like, why the property prices there across the street? Why 200 per square feet difference? People are still
Yeah.
there's a review that I did also across the street, freehold, 1,000 per square feet,
Okay.
fully sold.
Okay.
This one is like half the price,
600
or 550. Still got available new units.
Reason? Don't know. Exactly same product? I say like very similar.
It's condo.
Freehold.
Leasehold freehold.
Okay lah, but not 50% lah, right? 50% of the price. So it's 500 per square feet, and the opposite, then no one buy.
And still no one buy. They're fully sold. People still line up for it.
Developers same. Jenama, strong and weak, or
Strong and weak.
okay lah.
So those are the things that when I'm again eating the chicken rice, then I'm like, very interesting. Like, so just when you think that price dictates everything else, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
That's true. That's a very good point. Price dictates certain things, but brand is actually key. You know, like as you say, like you want if you're gonna buy a property, you want to know the developer has a track record.
Yeah.
Right, like a restful sleep is what is expensive.
I think price is the limitation. So let's say I can afford 800. So within 800, I try to get the most value of it.
Yeah, correct. Actually, that's true. Correct. That's what I try to do also.
Yeah,
that's what I
exactly.
try to
So like all house owners the same lah.
Yeah.
Then the other rule that you mentioned is if I can move out within these 3 to 5 years, right? This property can rent out and somewhat cover my installment.
Correct. I knew that at that point I didn't want to be like, I'll make money from that because it's very, very hard. You know? Yeah. So I was just thinking cover costs or bleed less, meaning that okay, I need to fork out maintenance fee lah. You know, if we could fill those criteria, then okay. Because I was thinking that property prices will go up. That one I'm confident of, right? So I can use it for my son in the future. You know, if he's older, then here's a place to stay. You know, those kind of things.
So that's the 80% rule that I always talk about. Like if you want to consider a place for own stay and investment, if the current rental can cover 80% of the installment, it's a good indicator that you wouldn't lose money with this property.
Correct. Well, I didn't think about the 80%. I wasn't that scientific, but I was like, can cover lah.
Because this answer came out too often already.
Okay.
So I somewhat like, okay lah, just work right. Okay, just go.
It works. I totally agree, man. That makes sense.
And also for first property buyers, I guess that's a very good guideline. Like especially in between. But I think the common reason why you jump into the wagon is also marriage lah.
Correct. Is social pressure that you put on yourself. To be honest, it's not like my in-laws or my parents were like, you must buy a house and all. Mine was just more like, I should buy one. I'm grown up, quote unquote, right? I should do an adult thing and go and buy one. But having said that, I don't regret because I knew that I wanted a place because my parents were pretty good investors in the sense that they invest a lot in Montclair, here. So I knew that, okay, I got that kind of basis and I could see what kind of returns it could bring if done correctly or got a bit lucky lah. So I knew that, okay, as long as if I buy the right thing, it might hurt now, but it won't hurt me in the future. So that was why I kind of went into it. But the core reason was, the one that sparked, I need to buy a house was, getting married need to buy a house. Standard.
If not, I'll just go and get a 4-wheel.
Yeah, just get a shoe. Yeah, go and ask car, get a shoebox to stay in. Can lah, rent. Yeah. So, but I was renting actually. In between, before I moved into this house, that rental was nice, dude.
Actually, if you can afford more rental, right? Let's say if you can afford like 3,000 per month rental.
Yeah, you got dope
the
options.
amount of choices.
Yeah, you got dope options. Correct. But the only thing is, even as I was paying rental, I was like,
why you want to make people rich?
I'm paying off this guy very well, So, so for that aspect, I was like, man, it sucks. But I had to rent 2 years anyway because waiting for both houses to get ready, right? So that was the reason why.
Yeah. So next time when you come in, you can share the furnishing processes and things like that.
Can for the one that I'm gonna take key, right? Yeah. Can. Hopefully with the makeover guys, if makeover guys wants to sponsor me,
Nope, you're not.
No, apparently no.
The makeover guy is not even sponsoring me.
Okay.
I need to pay.
How about that 10% that promo code, right?
It's not 10% lah, bro. It's just a promo code.
Oh, it's not even 10%.
So it's like some money off based on your total amount.
Yeah.
Just a quick knockoff.
I think the viewer should say that, okay, everybody wants to make over guys, we do like a Groupon deal.
We have.
Oh, God.
We have. So I think like for a new project, right? So let's say if you are in the same project, I don't want to mention the name.
Yeah.
But if you're in the same project, if there's a 20 people or 10 or 30 people wants to do makeovers together.
Yeah.
Because it saves us traveling.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you just bring everything one shot.
It just give you the saving.
Correct.
Instead.
Correct.
Yeah. So there is such schemes already.
I need to join the owners group then.
Yeah.
And just ask, hey guys, siapa mau join gang?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that would be investment property already, right? So the idea for now, I'm actually making a decision, and I wanted to ask you too, because I was trying to figure out should I furnish it, right?
Yes.
So, but what happens if I can get unfurnished for, let's say my target rental is 2.5, okay, and then I can get unfurnished for 1.5, for example. So I lose 1,000, for example, right? But it will cost me, let's say, 40,000 to furnish it. So which means that I only get my ROI after 3.5 years, providing that no damage, nothing happens to the property and all. Do you still think it's
ultimately my goal is for my next property. So by having 1,500 now versus my installment that I bleed, versus the amount of rental that I get that is 2.5, but it's break even. In the eye of the bank, they don't care whether you pay 40,000 or not.
Correct.
But the person is paying 2.5 and 1.5, right?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of difference for my next purchase.
Right, when you want to apply loan.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so now it's like a 1,000 per month. It's 12,000 a year kind of difference.
Correct.
The second thing is the speed. Because now, luckily, because this guy desperate, wants a bare unit, 1,500. Next year, how?
True.
Pray again.
True. Yeah, I think the one because I'm not going to buy like 10, 20 properties, right? I'm more risk averse. So but I was thinking speed and that one I agree with you. Like speed, I think most people they want to come in, they want everything already, right? The plates, everything for just bring suitcase.
So like for the bare and the fully furnished one, it differs from different projects. Like if it's a full residential, like those Kaifong, Kejiranan, all people, right? Got a lot of wet market kind of thing. They have their own furniture one.
True.
So old folks used to have their own furnitures, their own wok, their own stove and so ever.
They just tap out everything over.
So then these people were like, kind of, okay, I want a 4 years tenancy at this rate.
Right.
Then you were like, then forever you cannot jack up the
Correct.
price, right?
Correct.
But then if it's a new, then a lot of people are like, okay, long tenancy better because I'm worried there will be tenant. My Puchong unit, right? After every tenancy, right, it takes like 2 weeks to a month max for a new tenant to come in.
So hot.
Because the nature of how people evaluate a property is by pictures. How is your pictures going to stand out in the property portal?
Yeah, if it's bare, it looks like shit, right? So like, okay. Makes sense.
So like to me, is as an investor, I put in a 40,000, right? A lot of people, why limit to 3 years ROI? The property is the furnishings, right, is going to be there for very, very long.
Yep.
And across every tenancy, like, okay, tenancy 1, maybe I lose money. Tenancy 2, tenancy 3,
Correct.
4, 5. And the better looking the unit is, the less damage people will incur actually.
The better looking the unit is, the less damage. Why?
Because the unit is very, very nice. When you go to a very nice mall, right?
Yeah.
You won't litter one. But when you go to Pasar Malam, why is it okay to litter then?
Right.
Because like very chincha lah. Like,
Okay. Do you think you'll attract different type of target market as well? You would, right?
Yeah.
Right? The one that won't screw your things up.
So now like people who prefers quality of space more than quantity lo. So like some they want 1,005 square feet, so I want the lowest possible rate because I really need the space.
Right.
I got 5 babies.
Right.
The other one is like, okay, I just want a 500 square feet one,
Correct.
but I want it really nicely
on
done.
baller, on a bachelor pad kind of thing. Right.
So it depends on the location. Like if the Mont Kiara demographic, you go bare, nobody's going to take it.
Yeah,
because
correct.
takkan expect bring their own wall
Correct,
and sofa,
correct,
ma, right?
correct.
But then if you go into like Cheras or Subang Jaya, that's more residential.
It's possible.
Bare furnitures actually sometimes more preferred, but because they go long term. I want like 8 years. Can we sign 8 years?
Whoa.
It's like almost like a lease already. It's not
Correct.
it's not a tenancy.
8 years, damn hard. You cannot increase price at all. Huh?
But then it,
But you got assurance.
But actually, boss
But
cannot
actually,
pay.
they want chow. Yeah, correct. They cannot pay.
So to me, it's just formality. Takkan you sue the floor because you didn't
That's true.
for 3 months. But again, but I think it's a very cool explanation of how I think.
Yeah.
But in the property that you bought, I think fully furnishing, because quantity is not on your side.
Correct. I got a lot of competition. Yeah.
Then how do you stand out?
Correct. True.
Then a lot of people, then everybody will also do ma.
Like that, then I shouldn't use makeover, guys. Like everyone use the same one. Then how?
But then we are the most cost efficient. Because people will still check like it's fully furnished or not only.
Okay. Then you get them in first. Then you bake some cookies. You know that thing, right? Bake cookies, people smell. Then apparently they're more likely to rent a place or buy a place.
Wow, for tenant you want to spoil market like that?
No, yeah, I'll do that, man. I go Famous Amos, get the shit together, open up the bag. Just buy the 100 gram.
V60 coffee.
Correct. Buy the 100 gram one, the small pack one, just open up a bit at the front there.
Then you put toast it in the oven.
Correct.
That's what we usually do also. Like last time for show units, right?
Yeah. It's real. I wasn't joking. That's I know that's done.
So, but for tenancy, I think no need lah.
Come on, bro. I need to secure my tenancy.
Yeah, so then I think the following thought is like a lot of people also do fully furnished.
Yes.
Let's see who do it fast, who do it nicer.
Correct. Like I was discussing with my wife because obviously one of us will be singing in, right? So we wanted like a bit higher end for our own furnishing. Because we wanted like the washing machine and all. We wanted like because last time we rented. So that owner was actually really, really good. They I think they used one of these, so like, you know, I don't know who they use, but they upgraded certain elements and it showed. So like the bed was like, you can tell this is high-end bed. And then the washing machine was super high-end. And the shower appliances, they changed all of that. But everything else was basic. But I realized that those are the 3 things that break down. Got problem, very hard. Life is very hard. So we were thought like, okay, whatever it is, we'll upgrade these elements so that 1, it creates better, our tenants better. 2, hopefully high quality, break down less. That's our thinking.
Like since you're a developer right now, right? One of my goal is to I think now it's almost done already but back then, right, all toilets are empty one.
Meaning like they don't provide toilet bowl or what?
No, meaning like the basic, there's no shower, there's a normal tap.
Correct.
But now if you look into most of the projects, right, fully furnishing for the bathroom, including heater, the mirror, the slab, so all those kind of things. I've been like, I just spoke to this very important person from a developer also. So it's like, we kind of watched a video last time and we want to differentiate, right, the paymasters toilet against the race?
The paymaster's toilet, master lah.
So meaning the
master bathroom.
The master bathroom.
Bathroom.
So like the guest bathroom. So I only think that we need to splurge on guest bathroom if you are into ego or
Correct.
want to improve
You must
your-
buy a Aesop and then must put there.
yeah.
A lot of font
Then it
type
needs to
one.
be American standard
Correct.
or photo.
Font, font type there.
And then the light must be different.
Correct.
So then one is that, one is the master bathroom. Because you spend money there.
Correct.
And that is to impress the wife.
True.
So if you can convince the wife to buy the property, you can buy the property anyway.
True. Good point. Walk-in closets. That's why walk-in closets are.
Always work one.
Yeah, guys are very simple. We just need one side of the
Walking
closet.
closet, we need like half.
Yeah, correct. Half for walk-in closet, and then the rest all for female.
But we need our toy room.
That's true. A music room or some sort of area lah. But actually, nowadays, right, when as a developer also, we do see these trends, but it's last time maybe it might be true, but to be honest, in the current way since I've joined, right, the females are the one earning and making the decisions. So it's not like, oh, let me check my husband and all. Dude, a lot of husbands, let me check my wife, and then the loan all under the wife name. So I think the parity, there's no like, our honest experience, we don't really see that kind of parity or like those kind of decision making. Maybe in the past, because I totally get it too.
Yeah.
But then now it's like, dude, the girl is the one, the woman is the one calling the shots, she's the one bringing the bread
Now it's
home.
really equal. Lah.
Yeah, it's full on equal, man. So,
Especially in Malaysia. Malaysia woman is feisty,
yeah, correct.
strong.
So like when we had this discussion with our architects before, so they would say like this, but then we're like, but then we look at our data because data is everything that we do, right? So we look at it and be like, but then we do like this, we're gonna alienate a crowd. So we thought like at the end of the day, just focus on what it can bring to you. But then again, because we are not super high end, but I think super high end.
Wow,
then,
a lot of things to do.
yeah, man. I haven't reached that standard yet for my own personal side, nor has Myra have any plans to do ultra high end. But when we get there, I'll let you know like what's the. I don't know what to do, man.
I think the next step is you guys will make a lot of money, then profit margin very good. Then you just buy a pocket land within KL City Central and to make that a hallmark. Most of the time, a lot of developers do that. Then they put that thing, right? Although cannot sell, but we've done this.
Oh, cannot. If cannot sell, my job is at stake. I'll be back. I'll be like, hey guys, anyone looking for jobs? Like, I need.
Yeah. So I think that's about it for today, right? I think we spoke a lot.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the key takeaway, I think there's a lot of them. But ultimately, I'm very, very happy that you are willing to share like the younger culture, younger working styles of developments, because the older ones can be quite daunting and scary.
Yeah, daunting is a good word. I think daunting is, even when we meet with potential partners, JV partnerships and all right, I feel daunting, man. They'll be like, look at me, then like,
Where's your boss?
yeah, correct. The kicker is the boss is roughly the same age too. So we're like, okay.
Also in Thai.
Yeah, correct. We are exactly like this. Exactly what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So
then like if you guys are, any of you are considering a career in property development, right? Do also check out their project, because those are in the greater Klang Valley. Not saying that it's cheaper, that it's not good. Different crowd, right?
Yep.
And I'll put the link of your latest project inside.
yeah, thanks, man. That'll be
What's
nice.
the
Alia, I'll send you the link later.
Okay.
But Alia Residence at Puncak Alam would be one that would be interesting. I think
now
just
that
have a
it
look.
is, like based on experience and demand for reviews, right? Because of the Dash Highway, right? Ooh.
It's happening, bro. It's super happening now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
right.
So like because we got landed there in the past. So
Everybody's like, because the Dash Highway, since I joined development, right, it was a discussion
forever lah. Like
until like now it just got completed. Like, whoa, finally.
correct.
Right. And I think thank you for coming.
No problem. Thanks.
And see you guys on the next one. Do follow and subscribe the channel. See you guys on the next one. Ciao.
Bye bye.
And love